Hi. Well, you find us at the beginning of this video still doing the bed frame and the surrounding area, and like all the jobs, it's taken us longer than we thought, and the problem has been getting materials. At the moment, the shops that we want to get the wood from don't hold anything more than basic stock, so we can't get the bendy ply we need and so on, and a lot of them will only deal with trade. So we've found a friend with a trade account, and he's been able to do an order for us, but then we have to wait 4 or 5 days before it can be picked up, and we're also having to compromise quite a lot on the materials that we're using, and I'm sure it's going to change soon, but we can't sit around waiting to get the materials that we want. So we've built these boxes, and we've had to use tongue and grooving for them, which is fine for the main part of the box, but we've also had to do the top part of the box, and it's not ideal. So we'll probably revisit these later on and replace the lids. They work for the time being, but they're not top end, you know, how we want everything to be. We've also built 2 channels of wood up the back which hold all the cables for the horn and the navigation lights, and then we've revisited all the plumbing, which, now that the bed frame has been finished, has been attached to the bed frame and clipped on, so that it's all really tidy, and it's left us with quite a lot of storage space under the bed. It's not all going to be easy access, but there's going to be tools and things we need on the boat that we only need to get from time to time. It's one of the reasons that we decided to have 2 single mattresses on the bed rather than a double, because it means we can put one mattress on top of the other and get access under the bed. And we've built the boxes to push the mattresses together tight, so there's no squashy bit in the middle. So this is it. It's the last coat of paint, and that's done, and we're just about to start cutting the wardrobe walls and making a start on those. And while we wait for better quality materials to arrive, we're off to B&Q most days with our bikes and cable tying stuff on to bring it back to the boatyard. So Henry is cutting out the walls. Every shape on a narrowboat is a strange shape, and each one has to be measured individually. And while Henry is building the walls and installing them, I've had to do a hack on the IKEA bed frames. They overhung the bed frame by a couple of inches, so I've had to saw off the end and then get the staples out and drill new holes to put the end in, and then get the staples that I jemmied out and put them back into the frame. But it worked really well, and now the bed frames sit perfectly on the frame we've made at the end, and everything fits nicely. But it's not all work. Just a short walk from the boatyard and across the footbridge that spans the river, we have this amazing beach that stretches for miles, and it has all this beautiful vegetation on. There's valerian and there are roses, a purple flower like a salvia, I'm not sure what it is, and lots of kale. It's amazing. I think that the wet winter and the mildness have really been good for the flowers this year. Over there is Brighton, about 12 miles away. And then over on this side is the west, way past Worthing and all the way down to Bristol, I suppose. The boatyard itself is super busy at the moment. The boats are all coming in covered in barnacles and weed, and they're being jet washed off, and lots of new paint is being put on. I think that after lockdown, people are just anxious now to get their boats ready for the summer and back out on the water. And this week there was a huge fire a couple of miles away at a recycling plant as well. And just before we left on Friday, some Dutch lorry drivers brought these homes in and they got craned off. It looks like they're putting them on the river and waiting for the tide to come in. There's 3 of them and they're going to be taken down to Brighton Marina, which is about 12 miles away. We didn't see the going of them, so I'm not sure if they were towed down there behind a boat or something, but that's where they're headed. They're rather nice. Well, it's the end of the week again and I'm just finishing off painting the inside of the wardrobes, which we've almost finished. We've got quite a lot done this week, really pleased, so I'll show you where we're at. I seem to be covered in paint myself as well. So the wardrobes have turned out to be quite large, as you can see. It's always different when you draw something in 2D and then make it in 3D. It often grows. Down here we've got a lot of wiring that will be boxed in. And next week we've got pine board arriving so we can make all the shelving. And then right there at the bottom we've cut away a nice curve in the bottom of the wall, and that's so that we can access under the bed. So we'll be able to keep stuff in the bottom of the wardrobe, but tools and things we don't need all the time can be put in boxes under the bed and just pulled out through the bottom of the wardrobe. So it's quite a lot of space, really, more than we thought we'd have. We're going to have a light inside, and I've painted it a light colour so that it's easy to see what we've got in there rather than having stuff hiding at the back. And we're not going to put doors on the front. It'll make it feel too closed in, so we're keeping it open.
Just finalising the part that's going to go above the wardrobes, make it look nice and closed in. The curve seems to be quite difficult, even though I've got a template which I made everything else from. It's never quite exact. So this has been made from the template, but it just needs a little bit of tweaking here and there. So that's what I'm doing, but I'm just about to give that a final fitting.
Don't forget it's wet paint inside the wardrobes.
I think I'll just take the tiniest bit off there and that will be it done. So that's good.
So it's starting to look nice in here. Got a nice set on the bed. It's quite important because it's going to be the main decoration in there. Obviously there's still some wires hanging out. That's all to be finished off later. The doors will have some oak on them, but at the moment we haven't found somebody local who's got that, but hopefully in the next couple of weeks the shops will start opening up. Right at the end you can see the cable for the horn and the navigation lights. So really it's just a few little things to finish off. On the back of the wardrobes we're going to have bookshelves, so when we're sitting in bed looking down there'll be a whole row of bookshelves either side, and we've got to come up with a plan for the floor. There's going to be 2 drawers there and we'll cover the end of the bed to tidy it up. And the flooring, we need to find something that will work down there and under the bed without an edge if we're going to be pulling things in and out. And I think I found something, but I'm going to go and check it out next week and see if it'll be suitable. So the beginning of next week we've got a delivery coming, so we can finish off the shelving in the wardrobes, and then we can move back into the bathroom, and that'll be almost one room completely finished. I'll leave you this week with our squabbling next door neighbours who come in every evening for a little gossip. If you can, do subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.